chasing what only a dream. Break from the schemes. Waking up at dawn, all my fears are gone. All stop today, never, never, not today. Rise above it all, not gonna fall. Step by step I go, faster than the flow. Broke through every chain, I will not be contained.
Like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Oh, right, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm alone in your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you need. Why you chase the crooks and I take the lead? Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no end, sign of repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Good morning. Welcome back again. What a day. What a day this is going to be. We're going to be here through the inauguration. So we've got a lot going on today. Also, I haven't had a chance to see these confirmation hearings, and I'll probably be skipping over quite a bit of it. Try to hit some of the highlights of it and keep it going. Winning. Yes, some winning. American Dreamer. Yes. Good to see you. Good to see you, Miss PJ. Chilly, Ohio here. Yeah, it's cold here in Georgia also. Good morning, Puddle Town. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna have quite a bit of stuff to go over today, and just generally have a little bit of fun. I'll probably have guests come floating in, floating out, just throughout the day. It's gonna be a very, very interesting day. Not all will be politics. We will probably cover a little bit of stuff that might be, going on with what the hell's. No stop there whatsoever. We'll just incorporate it all into one fun morning. Also, as you guys know, this right here, this little piece right here, that's where all your super chats are getting stuck to. Now, I've reached out to Jeremy to see if he would be interested in auctioning it off whenever this thing gets all filled up, whenever the court case is all done and said, whenever it's all over, that this gets auctioned off and goes to a nice charity. The funds for it will go to a nice charity. I've reached out to Jeremy, and whenever I hear back from him, he can accept, he can turn it down, whatever he decides to do. I think it would be nice to go to a charity to help some children, but I have yet to confirm that. But any super chats that come in, that's where that stuff is going to be going. So for you guys out there, they're wondering, man, my head's gone all bedhead on me and stuff. I haven't slept. No, I have slept, but yes, this morning, this afternoon, yeah, I hear that stuff is going to be coming out. I may cover a little bit of that. Most of this is going to be about the inauguration. There are some people that don't want to talk politics, and that's fine. We don't have to always talk politics the whole time today. Good morning. How's it going, Georgie? But we'll have this just going on throughout the day. Some interesting folks may stop by, may not stop by. It's all good. We've got this covered. It's going to be a very long day, so make sure that you stay well hydrated if you need to. And it's all going to be just one long stream. This is also a 7K celebration stream for all of you fine folks out there that are recently joined. Happy Monday. Good to see you, T3. It's finally here. Yes, it is. And you'll see that throughout the day, it's just going to be, a little bit of fun. We'll be covering some of these confirmation hearings that I missed out on just because I was doing a whole bunch of covering a bunch of other stuff, as you guys know. And just generally a nice celebration, and thanking you, chat, for that. Also, I do have a goal on the super chats. So whenever we hit that limit of 20 super chats, I don't know if it counts super stickers. I haven't figured that out yet, but it's any amount of super chat that comes in. Once we hit 20, I'll either show you guys a song that I'm working on or almost have completed. Sometimes you'll get a chance to vote on which one ends up being the best version of it. And also we'll probably be showing you some new stuff that I'm working on, maybe even create a couple as the day goes on. No need to, freak out if we miss the goal. Still may end up doing the song anyway, especially if it gets really close. But we're just here to have a little bit of fun, cover some of the inauguration things, and see how all of that works out today. So that is the goal for today. It's interesting. It's going to be an interesting day. That's all I have to say. It's just going to be a really interesting day. So let's get this thing started off with the Bondi hearings here. This will be the first part of it with Mr. Grassley coming in. Hugs, Heidi. Good to see you. Daddy T is home. Praise God. Holds the ladies back. Yeah. So we'll see how this all turns out. And some of this like I said, we may just run it a little bit fast because Grassley tends to bore the ever living bejesus.
Second term.
8
years of service as Attorney General of the third largest state in the nation.
True.
His excellent preparation for the role of U.S. Attorney General.
Sounds very constipated.
As Florida Attorney General, Ms. Bondi was a member of the Florida Cabinet, Chief Legal Officer of the state, and led
a CV for her.
large agency that tangibly impacted people's lives.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, Ms. Bondi handled her responsibilities well. As the Florida Attorney General, Ms. Bondi achieved numerous successes. She engaged in key initiatives to fight human trafficking.
Yes, she has.
Counter the opioid epidemic, and protect consumers and protect the citizens of Florida from violence. She didn't shy away from hard work or complicated problems. She engaged in an aggressive campaign to eliminate pill mills, took a leading role in securing a $3.25 billion settlement following the Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And eliminated the backlog of rape test kits that had accumulated in that state's laboratories. Miss Bondi experience isn't limited to her service as Florida
let's
Attorney
speed this
General.
guy up a little bit. He's putting me to sleep.
She also served as a prosecutor in Hillsborough County for 18 years and prosecuted terrible crimes.
Yes, she did.
Tough penalties and justice for victims of violent criminals, domestic abusers, and sexual predators. She prosecuted drug traffickers and thus protected her community. She was also active outside of her professional role, serving in the Junior League of Tampa, on the board of Special Olympics Florida, and is well known for her animal rescue efforts.
I love it.
Her experience and performance as Attorney General, prosecutor, and community leader speaks volumes about her character and her dedication to the rule of law.
Yes.
She's received multiple letters in support of her nomination, including from the Fraternal Order of Police, the Republican State Attorneys General, more than 100 former senior DOJ officials, and a bipartisan group of former state attorneys general. In short, Miss Bondi is highly qualified. And of course, as we all know, a change is desperately needed. When confirmed, Miss Bondi will take the helm at a very turbulent time for this country and for that department. The Justice Department's is infected with political decision-making, while its leaders refuse to acknowledge that reality. Crossfire Hurricane was a textbook example of government weaponization.
Oh, yeah, it was.
The FBI's investigation was built on the fake Steele dossier, which was funded by the Democratic National Committee and Clinton campaign, who worked with foreign operatives.
See how he's talking about that now? Oh, they didn't want to talk about that for how long? There was a lot of not wanting to say anything about that for quite some time.
My investigative work exposed that the FBI actually knew the dossier was false information and was likely a part of a Russian disinformation campaign. Even with the knowledge of such dossier defects and political infections, the Justice Department sought FISA warrant renewals and took other actions. After directing my oversight staff to investigate Justice Department's mishandlings of the matter, the Justice Department retaliated in issuing a subpoena for my own staff's phone records. That's right, challenging my constitutional rights of doing my oversight duties. Well, what's next? Then a few Democratic colleagues pressured the FBI Foreign Influence Task Force to supposedly brief me and Senator Johnson related to our Biden family investigation. On August the 20th, Senator Johnson and I had that infamous briefing from the FBI. Later, this FBI's briefing contents were leaked to the media, even though the FBI promised confidentiality. That leak falsely labeled our oversight work as, you guessed it, Russian disinformation.
Oh, Russian disinformation. I have somebody waiting patiently in the background. And I've got to do this just because I think that all of you should be introduced to the most lovely person that you could possibly run into. And I'm going to show the new introduction that we've been working on just so you guys know what's coming up next Friday over on this person's channel at 8 o'clock in the morning. Please welcome this lovely person right here. Come on, show, go. Why is it not working? Doggone it.
Hope y'all having a good morning. All the way from the backwaters of your Well, I don't know that my balls are tingling, but I am wearing my Matrix sweatshirt. So if Skynet takes over today, I would just like to say, my toaster, I didn't mean to curse at you and call you a cahoot. Look, it was definitely user error, okay? So can we like be besties again?
So what do you think of that new intro, Mo? You like it?
I love it. I do. I mean,
Well, and you had said, I wanted more sparkle and disco balls, and I was like, so that was like that
that's
little
as
piece.
Liberace as you're willing to go.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
yeah.
you guys. I'm gonna get him in I'll be Elton John for Halloween, and he's gonna be Liberace. We are going to see who can be more flaming. It's a flame off.
Oh, sweetheart, my helmet's all flaming right now. It's all shiny and sparkly. Look at that.
God made me a heterosexual woman because there are not enough rhinestones in the world. Like, I would make Richard Simmons look straight.
Oh, yeah, she probably would.
I would. You have no idea. I'd have like
Oh.
I'd be on South Park. I'd be such a stereotype. That's the problem.
Oh my
They'd have
gosh.
to formally invite things with like, no assless chaps are not appropriate for this black tie, even if you bedazzle them.
Oh, not even at all. No, and I like and like I've been telling my chat, I have not seen these confirmation hearings because I've been so busy that I just haven't had time to. And I've heard that that this isn't even the best one. Like Hedgeseth's was even better. So that's why it's being saved for a little bit later.
I know that there were history buffs, but why did no one say Lake Chappaquiddick? Like, let's just, if we're going to talk about, people who suddenly die under the employ of senators who maybe or may not have been there for a tryst, I'm just saying, we want to bring dead interns out. Maybe we should bring the big one.
Well, from what I understand is Trump is planning on releasing all of that information that was sealed back up.
I really want to figure out why the Vatican murdered MLK. I think they thought it was the different Martin Luther and they're still pissed off. We do hold grudges. Our intel was bad. I'm not going to lie. Look, our Pope, we got rid of him.
It happens. It's different Martin Luther, different king altogether.
You're like, wait, he wasn't an asshole that was putting stuff on our Yelp reviews? Like 0 stars, no salvation.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes. And Linz, what year is my black telly? What is that? What does that mean? My black telly. Oh, my Telecaster. Sorry. That would be, let's see. That would have been 90. Let's see. 90 about, I believe it would be about a 96 or something like that. So the black telly that I have back here was assembled in Mexico, but it has all American made parts in it. It was one of the last ones that all of the parts were made in America, shipped to Mexico to be assembled, and then shipped back to the United States. I got this for really a low amount of money, and I'll show you why.
It's because Courtney Love licked it.
Right up here at the very tippy top of it.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. This was sitting in the music store, and somebody had hung it up, a different guitar above it, and they didn't hang it up properly, and it fell down and slammed into the headstock and chipped it off.
Sounds like something one of my children would do.
Well, I got it for about 1/3 the price that you would normally pay for it. So and it's one of the last
are correct. If you damage the tip, the shaft will be the Moyles all agree.
The Moyles all agree.
It's a bris.
And Lynn's right here for you. Thank you so much. You get a brand new star right there. And see, the virgin material is disappearing on the helmet. It's going away. And for if I do end up with anything over $100 as a super chat, those little divots right there is what gets covered up. Now somebody already slid in there and got one for under 100, and that was a $2 super chat right there. So that is for them especially. But each one of those will get the divots. Now that helmet, I've reached out to Jeremy from What the Hales and said, hey,
cool.
is whenever all of this is done and over with, I would like to use this as a donation to auction off, and all of those funds to go to a charity that will help children, is what I'd like it to do.
Okay.
But
also, I pledge when all of this is done. Now, I am giving myself some leeway here, but I do believe that we need a reenactment. If the beach body isn't ready, there will be puppets. Actually, there'll probably be puppets there anyway. Why am I lying to you people? Anyway, I think we need the pole dancing Book of Daniel, because I'm pretty sure I'm not getting into heaven anyway. But I think we need the Lynette, Book of Daniel upside down with the glitter on,
Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Welsh lady, popping in to hit that like button and wish all who voted for Trump a happy inauguration day. Well, thank you, Welsh lady. Yes. And even the people who didn't vote for Trump. I want to wish all of those people a happy inauguration day, because it's like the rising tide raises all ships. And I think that it's going to be beneficial to each and every person out there. I really do. And I think they'll start finding that out soon enough in California.
Okay. I hate to be the Bronca here, but that chick's, if that's a skirt, that is a whole lot too short there.
She's showing legs. There's nothing wrong with showing legs.
Until you have
Katie
to
Peavy House. You're anti-virgin material. Okay, well, I will make sure that I don't put it on virgin material. How's that? I mean, if you tell me you want virgin material or not, because if you're saying you want me to slap you and get, how about a threesome? I'll give you a threesome or a foursome. Ooh. How's that? A foursome. Ooh. right here on top, a foursome. You get to touch the tips of like 3 different stars right there.
Oh my God, it's just like ABBA.
Yeah, look at that.
And Fleetwood Mac. And possibly those people that did Afternoon Delight, those were some clogging swappers, you ask me, but
well,
it is a smacking song. I'll tell. I mean, you've never seen white people more happy to clog in your entire life, like just star rockets in flight. And I mean, they're all on rhythm. I think we should just give it to them.
Yes. Dennis buys, she's got legs and she knows how to use them. Hey, if you got it, you might as well use it while you can. Because, it ain't going to last forever.
Okay, Shizzy, I have a new idea, though. Okay, when is the one time you are going to be the dumbest in your entire life? When you're a teenager?
The dumbest as a teenager that I'll be in my entire life? Oh, God. I don't know. My whole teenage years
have boobs. Okay, so hear me out. Women, we age in reverse. So we start off with the saddlebags and the cellulite when you're 16, and don't nobody want to play with that. And then by the time you get 40, you get the perky boobs back because you're married, and don't no one want to play with that either, but you feel better about yourself.
Dan Davis, the church lady Dana Carvey should swear Trump in. Now that would be funny. Oh my
God, I would love it.
God, yes.
Is this Satan? Anyone?
Just for that, I'm giving you virgin material right there. Virgin material. Your tips are not going to be touching anywhere. They'll be close, but they won't be touching. That's so good.
They're just watching. Oh
my gosh. How are you doing, Dan? It's so good to see you. It is so good to see you. Happy morning to y'all from cold ass Kentucky, waking up to 6 degrees. It is 18 degrees here in Atlanta. It is cold. It is so cold that the dogs did not want to go outside because they were in fear of their balls freezing off. And they haven't had those since they were like 8 weeks old. So
I'm with the dogs here. You need to get them the little booties, but then they're mad at you for wearing the little shoes.
Please apologize. Okay. It says, Shizzy was not, please read my message to Mo or apologize for me. Please, darling. I don't know what happened.
I don't
It
remember.
says, sorry, Mo in the deep end, but I'm a twit with a brain fog today. Hello, my
I had
darling.
brain fog all yesterday. I had to watch the last season of Stranger Things twice because even Stranger Things was a little too confusing for me. I was like,
yeah. Like, yeah, it was a head scratcher.
well, I had my brightness down on my phone and I forgot that I had it charging so I could put the brightness up, and not be like Smeagol with the brightness. And I was like, oh, there were actually things going on in the dark time. Okay. So then my husband's like, why were you watching it on low light? I was like, I was saving battery. And he's like, well, that's why it's charging.
I can picture Mo over there. Hey, my precious, come over here.
Oh my gosh. He's like, why do you have the lights off? I'm like, because it's easier to see in the dark. It's like you could just put the brightness up. And I was like, well, that would mean I'd have to remember that I could change the brightness.
2 awesome dogs. I am so sorry to hear that, Shizzy. It's -2 here with wind chill is -12. Ouch.
Yeah.
Now, I worked a job in Kentucky. It was back in the 90s, and it was, I want to say it was something like 15 or 20 degrees below zero, and that was before the wind chill. It was so cold outside, and I was working inside of a plant where I was doing a bunch of welding, and I was working on top of what they call an annealing furnace, where all of the heat escapes through these big pipes that are combination steel and stainless, and it burns off the oil off of these big rolls of metal.
I think I've seen them on like how things are made. I think I saw the spork one. I'm pretty much an expert now.
Non-sporks. Well, and so I was working up on top of that, and and because you're working with a combination of steel and stainless, you have to have an inert gas to basically keep any sort of air away from it, so you don't have oxidization, and because you're welding steel to stainless, and there's a special kind of material you have to use for it, and you have to have them heated up to a certain temperature. I mean, there's a lot of math involved, and I suck at math. But but being up there, it was probably running about anywhere between 98 and 102, somewhere around in there on top of that. So it was, wearing my leathers and a t-shirt just to keep cool, and constantly drinking water. And I had to go get a new tank for the machine. The tank was outside of the building. So you have to understand, this is a large plant, and it took me about 20 minutes just to walk from where I was, just to get to an exit. And then once I got to the exit, I had to walk all the way around the side of the building to get to where the tanks were outside. Now, in the process of me walking across there, I was still pretty hot, still wearing my leathers and t-shirt. And I opened the door and immediately got hit by a blast of -20 degrees, not including wind chill.
Oh, no.
And immediately closed the door, turned around, and took 20 minutes to walk back to go get a coat so I could go outside. It was so cold that whenever I opened that door, within just a few seconds, all the sweat that was on those leathers froze. I mean, it was just like, I was like, and I didn't realize until after I got my jacket and went back out the same door that I couldn't get back in.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, I was, and of course I'm out there. Luckily, I had my jacket on whenever I went and got the tank. I come back over, I'm pounding on the door, and this is before, you could have cell phones. I might have had a pager or something like that at the time. No. And so I had to walk all the way around the building, like the opposite direction, to find a door, because I knew there wasn't one the way that I just came from, to find a door to get back in, to walk another it took me like close to an hour and a half just to get that tank
Oh,
of
hell
gas.
no.
Oh, I hate the cold with a passion. I grew up in it.
And you know
Like,
some HR woman was right there when you came in the door. "Oh, it's pretty cool out there, isn't it? I see you haven't been at your station for about an hour. Wanna tell me what's going on?" And you're like, "I
no,
just about froze my nipples off. Imma talk to you later, Sally, okay?"
no, I was there as a contractor. So we had different things
Oh,
that we had to go by. Yeah, being there
that's
as a contractor was much better. But we were working 12-hour shifts, 24 hours a day. It was we had a crew in there 24 hours a day, a crew of probably about 20 or 30 people, just doing all the repairs. And it was like one of the most brutal winters. That same winter was the winter that I went from. It was the same year that Gingrich shut down Congress. Or the Senate,
wow.
I can't remember, but they shut down government. All government got shut down, and I got a job working in Maryland on a ship for the EPA. And the company that I was working for, we'd finished up the job. The call came in. I think it was on Christmas Eve. They called me and asked me if I could be there. So the day after Christmas, I drove from where I was at in Kentucky all the way across the Appalachian Mountains,
Yeah.
which they had an ice storm the night before,
Oh, good.
into Maryland, which was like not a drop of snow on the ground. And got in Maryland, they shut down the government, which meant that we were stuck there for just basically retrofitting the ship. Then it started snowing, and it continued to snow. It dropped every hour. It was dropping 12 inches of snow. We had
That's
to we started at the back of the ship shoveling off the snow, and by the time we got to the front, we had to go back to the back of the ship and shovel it off
Nope,
again.
Shizzy, that's when shit gets personal, and global warming is now something I will create. I am getting tires, I am getting my Aquanet, I am getting lighters, I am getting the, old Glade front scented things. I am out there and I am trying to get global warming started at that point. I'm like, "Screw this, Greta, I don't care."
Oh, well, and the worst part is whenever we left Maryland, we had to have an icebreaker break through the ice because it was like 5 feet thick, and the ship's hull was 5 feet thick of aluminum, so it would have just destroyed the hull. We got out of the Chesapeake Bay, took a left turn, headed up to New York to go pick up the scientists, and we got to New York. You would not believe it was 56 degrees. And I got to go walk around with a guy that was from Romania, and we just like walked. We took
Cool.
the rail system all over New York. I got to see all the really cool things. We didn't make it out to Ellis Isle, which would have been cool, but we went all the way around, and then headed down to back into the Chesapeake Bay. Had to get another icebreaker to bring us in. More snow. Left the next day because we just had to get some more supplies, and headed down to Miami. And I will tell you, Miami never looked so good in my life ever than walking off of that ship. And then
Yeah,
I got to see Carlos Santana. I got to go
Ooh.
see not Bob Marley, but his son. What is it? Ziggy Marley? I think that's right. I got to
don't
see
remember.
Bob Marley's son perform, and they were doing a charity benefit at
Cool.
the port of around the port of Miami at a little venue out there, and all it cost was like 2 cans of food or like $10 or something like that if you wanted to get in.
Hey,
And I
that's
got
not
to go
bad at
see that.
all.
I had a blast. Best time. Oh my gosh. Well, let's continue on with this craziness. So
Yes.
yes.
To this day, over 4 years later, the intelligence community and the FBI refuse to provide us the intelligence basis for that briefing.
Yep.
The title of this Wall Street Journal's article sums it up. Quote, "The FBI's dubious briefing. Did the Bureau set 2 U.S. GOP senators up at the behest of Democrats? Question mark, end of quote. So I know, as other people on this committee and in and out of Congress know, what government weaponization is. And then we get to Special Counsel Jack Smith and his lawfare operation. It involved an unprecedented FBI raid on Trump's house, including agents that even searched the former First Lady's clothing drawers. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden certainly did not receive the same treatment by government regarding their records. Indeed, as my oversight exposed, the FBI amazingly agreed to destroy laptop records and records associated with Clinton staff. This Orwellian conduct should have no quarter. On top of it all, the FBI Special Agent Tebow, the anti-Trump agent that violated the Hatch Act for political activities on the job, started one of Jack Smith's cases. But Jack Smith wasn't the only department official who tried to influence this past election. The Washington Post reported just last August about a previously undisclosed Mueller investigation into Trump that was closed for lack of evidence, and it being quote unquote fishing expedition.
Yeah, it was every bit of that.
That news reporting was based on sealed court records, government records, and potentially classified information roughly 90 days before the last presidential election. The Justice Department leaked that information to the press to impact the election against President Trump. And they did it while stiff-arming congressional requests for information that would prove embarrassing.
Brings a new term from Saturday, Sundays, stiff-arming.
So let us not forget some of the more and other flagrant.
Actually, if Hoover threatened to stiff-arm me, I'd be more scared.
And the FBI over the last 4 years, and I don't have the time to spend on these that I spent on 2 or 3 others, but just to list them. The Department of Justice used the might
Can you pause it,
of the federal government to prosecute individuals.
Okay, so Senate has the power. Well, actually, the executive branch came in or birthed these 3-letter agencies with absolutely no oversight at all.
Correct.
And Senate can beg, or Senate could do what they kind of go to this place called Washington, D.C. to make all these law things. And they can say, hey, alphabet language agencies, regardless of classification, there will be oversight. Now we will take special. But this is the stuff that ticks you off if you know how things actually work. Because, and I like Chuck Grassley for the most part, but he is still never going to address the problem that they could do something for, oversight instead of constantly whining like a 14-year-old girl who was told no at Hot Topic. But then you get to be this age and you tell your mom you're wearing it on Easter. Or whatever non-denominational holiday we choose to go to church at.
Exactly.
Individuals peacefully praying outside of an abortion clinic. The FBI suggested that traditional Catholics could be domestic terrorism threats, claiming that these individuals adhere to
they've met my grandma,
anti-Semitic, anti-immigration, anti-LGBT, and white supremacy ideology. End of quote.
Supremacy.
The FBI opened dozens of investigations into parents who voiced their concerns at school board meetings regarding curriculum choices and COVID-19
we do a
mandates.
mask for them.
The FBI applied undue pressure to social media platforms to censor so-called misinformation, downgrading, or removing flagged social media posts and removing users. These are only a few particularly egregious examples of rot.
Like Consuelo couldn't hear her as she's shotgunning through Hail Mary.
The impact of this political infection in our once storied law enforcement institutions is catastrophic. By every metric, the Biden-Harris Justice Department conduct has failed to live up to our country's ideals. So, Ms. Bondi, should you be confirmed, the actions you take to change the department's course must be for accountability, so that the conduct I just described never happens again. The only way to accomplish this is through transparency for the Congress and the American people. Now to my friend, Ranking Member Durbin.
Thank you, Senator Grassley. I appreciate your commitment to the Judiciary Committee's longstanding bipartisan practices for vetting presidential nominees. That
Oh my
was in
God,
doubt
her
several weeks ago,
face.
but I spoke to Senator Grass.
What was that?
Her face is like, I see your bullshit. I see your game, and I am already in full fuck deficit mode and to destroy you. Like, just her face, she was getting on her armor. It was such a, I am that bitch. You will know I am that bitch, and you will say my name as that with a capital letter.
Now I'm gonna, like I said to everybody, I'm gonna skip over some of this stuff just because, for whatever reason, they've got some weird stuff. Everyone, I'm not gonna let everyone sit here and go off on their high horses and speak a whole bunch of crap. I want to hear what she has to say in response to
Thank
these
you.
folks.
I'd much rather listen to her talk than the other Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
C-SPAN, get with me. Muppet Senate. I think high people everywhere would watch the shit out of it. I mean, I think
so
Americans deserve high class entertainment.
I think that if they just had like the whole Senate there and as everyone was speaking, just have it as a Muppet.
Yes,
That
that's
would
what
be
I'm saying.
Yes. Come on, Jim Henson, get with it.
And then every once in a while you have Waldorf and Astoria like, oh my God, we pay these assholes. And they just like,
and Jake and soon to be niece Savannah.
Aww.
My brother Brad, a brilliant lawyer, safe and vigorously prosecuting criminals. And that includes getting back to basics, gangs, drugs, terrorists, cartels, our border, and our foreign adversaries. That is what the American people expect, and that is what they deserve from the Department of Justice.
Yep.
If confirmed, I will do everything in my power, and it will be my great responsibility to make America safe again. Making America safe again also requires reducing recidivism. We have to fix the Bureau of Prisons, and I am looking on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
The Bureau has
Absolutely.
suffered from years of mismanagement, lack of funding, and low morale. I was proud to support President Trump's First Step Act. I think more can be implemented and more can be done on that front. President Trump's leadership on criminal justice reform has demonstrated what is possible when a president is unafraid to do things that have been deemed to be too difficult. We have to reach across the aisle and get solutions for all of these problems.
And if not, reach across the aisle and slap the ever-living crap out of them so that they pay attention. I keep hearing this reach across the aisle thing, and looks like Mo froze up on us. Reach it across the aisle doesn't mean that you have to give up ground. It means you reach across and you bring them into the fold of doing what's right and lawful. That is what reached across the aisle means. Yeah, you froze up on us for a minute there.
I think my boys are in theory supposed to be doing their e-learning, but in reality are playing Roblox loudly, because I don't know that in any English class I've ever been to, eat it, nerd, I totally ground on you, is something you would yell out.
No, probably not.
Eat it, loser, you're gay, is basically what I heard. And I was like, oh, is that how we're doing spelling today? And they're like, damn.
Show where the joke shift tries to go after her and put some in check immediately. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Like the president, I believe we are on the cusp of a new golden age where the Department of Justice can and will do better if I am confirmed. Lastly, and most importantly, if confirmed, I will fight every day to restore confidence and integrity to the Department of Justice and each of its components. The partisanship, the weaponization will be gone. America will have one tier of justice for all.
Okay, pause.
In all this work.
Okay, as a lifeline for all of us Americans who are a little pissed off and would just like a little revengeation, could we have a month of revengeation? Legally in the bound of the laws.
Well, within the bounds of the laws, yeah, I understand.
Or I throw out as a parlay to the rest of us pissed off Americans, we all, on a day of his choosing nationally, and it is shown on every single cable channel, we all get to see MFing Daryl Brooks shocked with shock shackles like he said he was. I think it will heal the nation. hear me out.
Because him driving through a parade on for a Christmas parade, what was it, just a few days after Thanksgiving, and the amount of lives that he destroyed in short order and the lack of not giving an F about doing it shows the level of justice that someone like that should receive. And unfortunately he didn't. I mean, the justice that I think would have been, I don't make those choices. That was one of the most brutal things happening. And I remember seeing that.
Yes.
I
am willing to forgive my political revengeation, go back, but I believe that to heal the nation, we must all see Darrell Brooks shocked. I think it will heal me and it will heal all of us. Someone get Oprah on something worthwhile. Stop buying up stuff in Maui. Let's go.
I'll collaborate closely with this committee. I will work with all of you as I've committed to do when I met with almost all of you. And I will partner.
South Carolina, that's where my wife's originally from. So yes, it is very cold in South Carolina right now.
Only with the federal agencies, but with the state and local officials throughout our great country. I look forward to answering your questions today and working together for this country and our Constitution. Thank you, Senators.
I will ask first questions, and Senator Durbin, and then I'll call on the Democrat people the way that Senator Durbin would say so on their arrival, or responding to my oversight requests, as well as a request of
personally review the letters and do everything we can to respond to you.
Your tenure as Florida Attorney General was impressive. You fought against pill mills, human trafficking. You eliminated a backlog of rape test kits in state labs. You fought against organized retail theft, and you were known to stand for law and order. With such achievements, it's easy to see why the people of Florida reelected you in 2014 and why President-elect Trump nominated.
Does anybody notice that he reads worse than I do?
Hey, some days you have it. Look at all those binders. And he's what, like 873?
Yeah, something like that. He's
wearing at least 90 layers because he has an undershirt plus like a white t-shirt under that, plus his dress shirt, then the vest, then the jacket.
Yeah, it's a lot to put on an old man. It's how you keep the lizard people warm.
Either that or Senate heating bills were just too high.
Officer. Yes. So this gives you a chance to tell us on this committee and the people of this country what you're proud of as your record as Attorney General of Florida.
Thank you, Chairman Grassley. I was truly honored to serve the people of the state of Florida for 8 years, but it was a team effort. I had great people around me, many of whom were in this.
In the 1990s, one of the attorney generals said it wasn't constitutional, and when that same person by the name of Barr was back 5 years ago to be attorney general, he said it was constitutional. So if confirmed, will you commit? Well, answer that first question. Do you think it's constitutional? Would you defend the constitutionality of it?
I would defend the constitutionality, of course, of the False Claims Act, Senator.
Last question. If confirmed, would you commit to continuing DOJ's defense of the constitutionality of it? And will you assure the entire staff and funding levels to properly support and prosecute false claim cases?
Senator, the False Claims Act is so important, and especially by what you said with whistleblowers as well, and the protection and the money it brings back to our country. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your answers, Senator Durbin.
Thank you, Senator Grassley. Ms. Bondi, if you're successful in your nomination, this Democrat would like to give you 3 words of advice. Answer Grassley's letters. You'll never hear the end of it if you don't.
That's awesome.
At issue, I believe, in this nomination hearing is not your competence nor your experience. At issue is your ability to say.
Don't like the guy that nominated you.
Do you think it's constitutional? Would you defend the Constitution?
I didn't do that.
I would defend the Constitution.
They cut something out.
It looks like they got a different angle on the last one because they're talking about the constitutionality. Yeah. So it seems like they were just like, she has a good side, and she's asked us to show her good side.
$15,000 a month. and for corporate giants, Amazon and Uber, when you're asked about conflicts of interest. Why do you believe your work as a lobbyist does not constitute potential conflicts of interest?
Well, Senator, first, that was the amount my firm received. I believe multiple people represented the country of Qatar within my firm. My role, and I'm very proud of the work that I did. It was a short time, and I wish it had been longer for Qatar, was anti-human trafficking efforts leading into the World Cup, which is something I'd like to talk about later, too. I was registered as FARA, along with many members of my firm. That was the sole portion of my representation for Qatar. Now, if there are any conflicts with anyone I represented in private practice, I would consult with the career ethics officials within the department and make the appropriate decision. I would also like to point out to you, I don't believe that I would be the first attorney general who has represented and advocated for businesses in their past.
Of course not.
Sure.
The question is whether you will recuse yourself from any case involving your Ballard clients. One of those clients was the GEO Group, was it not?
GEO, yes.
A private prison company you lobbied for. It manages correctional institutions and detention facilities. The GEO Group has faced criticism for safety violations, inadequate health care, and poor management. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is GEO's largest source of revenue. Under the Trump administration, GEO stands to earn hundreds of millions of dollars by detaining immigrants if there is this mass deportation. Would you sense any conflict of interest if you're asked to judge the performance of this government contractor?
Senator, I will consult with the career ethics officials within the Department of Justice and make the appropriate decision.
And that's all
her,
you can answer on those.
Well, he's asking a hypothetical on top of a hypothetical because he's assuming that Trump is going to utilize this particular company. He's also assuming that there are going to be violations. Again, my guess is even though she represented even say a McDonald's once, just because there were health violations after she represented them, that doesn't mean she's stamping that.
Right.
It's very disingenuous the way they put these things out there. And if you are not plugged in, if you haven't spent an entire lifetime being a nerd, it can be very misleading.
Right. Well, and I'll say, here's the thing. There is whenever she's saying this, and she's going to be saying this quite a bit, I'm sure, that whenever as an attorney, you're going to represent a lot of different people in a lot of different cases. And the thing about it is it has to be something that would be an interest or a conflict of interest. For example, if she was representing a company that was building widgets, okay, now the only thing that she did while representing that company that was building widgets was their hiring and firing policies, for example, and in no way was she involved with them on the building of the widgets. So if these widgets all of a sudden cause some harm later on down the line, it wouldn't be a conflict of interest because all that she was in charge of was the hiring and firing. She had nothing to do with the manufacturing portion of it. She wasn't defending them on their manufacturing processes or anything like that. So there's levels of conflict that you can have, unless you believe that conflict would be because the people that you were in charge of looking at the hiring and firing were the ones that actually caused the problem.
Yeah.
Then you can say, yes, I'm going to recuse myself from it. I don't even have to ask about that.
Yeah. And I guess my question would be, if you came with this question, I would like to say for them to have genuine examples of where this did spark their, concern. Because there are some lawyers, like, let's say I brought Owens in, I would be like, what was your, reasoning? What was your motivation to get involved in the Boone case? Were there any, that kind of thing? That's something I can see.
Exactly.
If she has cases in her past where it looks like she even towed the line, I could understand that question. Yep. But again, we are in political kabuki theater where it just has to look like maybe she did or maybe she would. And that's the part that irritates me. I
got a nice little sticker for you right there. That one is for Janice Wingfield. Daryl Brooks was recently moved out of state from the Supermax prison in Boscobel, I guess that's correct, Wisconsin. It hasn't been said what prison he was moved to. And you usually won't find that out until later on because they do have to have a forwarding address for all of his fan mail. Because believe it or not, there's a whole bunch of people that are fans of Daryl Brooks. They believe that he was wrongly accused and blah,
Oh
blah,
my God,
blah.
Shizzy, I know it will probably make us both sick, but we need to dramatic read those letters. Can we FOIA those?
Oh, please. That would be nice. Good morning, all. I'm listening while I work. Please hit that like button. Rosalind, so good to see you. I hope that you had a safe trip. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's continue on with this
Thank you,
craziness.
Senator Graham.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
forgot to say that John's family was from South Carolina.
The upstate, I'm sorry.
Or with us. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely,
Do
Senator.
you think since our withdrawal from Afghanistan,
Oh, he's
threats to our
gotten
homeland have
chunky.
gone up from ISIS?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I say
March
that as
7th,
a
2024,
semi-fluffy.
General
I have a
Corella.
pass.
I assess ISIS-K retains the capability and will to attack the U.S. and Western interests abroad in as little as 6 months with little or no warning. That's March of 2024. General McKenzie, ISIS-K has a strong desire to attack the United States after it began to grow in Afghanistan following U.S. exit in August 2021. He also stated the threat to ISIS-K is growing. Major General Quantock, the U.S. remains target number one for ISIS-K. Do you agree with that?
Senator, I don't have my security clearance, but from everything I've read and heard, ISIS is one of the greatest threats.
Okay, well, when you get your security clearance, you're going to find out these people are coming after us and they want to kill us. So I would like to have a strategy
Maybe
to
that's just
deal
a
with the
personal
ISIS
threat
threat.
against Lindsey Graham. I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, I could kind of see your point. Look,
Yeah.
the rest of the world, don't judge us all by Lindsey Graham. We are not.
No,
Lindsey.
we don't have little ladybugs, just saying.
Also, why, again, she is the attorney general. So most of the things she's not going to have clearance for. And this would be if she is charging them with crimes on U.S. territory. And I'm sure she
Right.
has clearance for that. What the hell is she going to do as AG other than like terrorism is bad, okay? Like,
Well, and
y'all
there's
make a
certain
law.
things that if as soon as they're brought onto American soil, that you would have control over, but without security clearance, you won't know what those are. You know, it's
Well,
just
yeah.
it's ridiculous. So some of these questions, as I said, they're going to be stupid and ridiculous, and we're going to skip over them. Wait, wasn't that Lindsey Graham?
I
Yeah,
thought
that
it
was.
was.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham. He said but just those are my little ladybugs.
You know, on the plus side, Lindsay, as a semi-fluffy, I see how much Aquanet you used on your hair. We're going to get Greta. Don't you worry. Me and Lindsay, we're going to make we're going to get that ozone layer retreating again.
Oh, yeah.
We talked in the meeting about the contacts policy that has prevailed really since Senator Hatch sat in that chair and demanded it of the Clinton Justice Department through all the administration since then, with the exception of a brief period under Attorney General Gonzalez, which he corrected and which did not end well for him. There has been a contacts policy that limits contacts betwing the White House and the
I'm
Department
glad
of
you're here
Justice to a
with me,
very few
Shizzy, because
senior
I feel
officials
like
on
we
each
need to be at
side.
the Waffle
In
House
your role
or
as
the
Attorney General,
DMV,
if you
and
are
I'm getting
confirmed, will you
told that I did
maintain,
not have the right
defend, and
form,
enforce
and it
that
is
law
not her
and contacts
problem.
policy?
Yeah.
Senator,
And I
yes, I will
wasn't
meet with
ready.
White House counsel and I will meet
That
with
was
the
totally
appropriate
it.
officials and follow the contacts policy.
My time has expired. Thank you, Ms. Bundy.
Senator Cornyn.
Ms. Bondi, your testimony is music to my ears.
Thank you.
One of the things that I have been most concerned about over certainly the last 4 years and extending back
Oh, he'd
during
definitely be
President
the
Trump's
Eagle
administration is
Muppet.
weaponization, politicalization.
Yeah, he would make a total Muppet. Yeah,
but he
we
would be
already
the
know
evil
about
one.
the politicalization of it, but let's hear what club
Oh God, not
coacher.
her. She makes me want to repeal the amendments so hard. I thought I woke up as Bronca. I was waiting for my get hard book to be right next to my bedside table because Klobuchar.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I feel like I want to repeal the 19th.
Yeah. And I'm skipping over a lot of these because it's just the same stuff being rehashed over and over again, where it's like, it's just like, yeah, we already know it's just political posturing.
Is a top priority of mine, and I would love to meet with you on that and Senator Murkowski to support law enforcement and those programs.
Thank you. Independence from political interference is vital to the legitimacy and success of the Department of Justice. I was honestly troubled by some of the answers to Senator Durbin's questions. We will continue
hair
that
looks as
discussion,
bad
I'm
as
sure,
mine does
on the
this
committee
morning.
about the election. But
No,
I want to
was thinking
focus
this is a
on
classy Sarah
the
Boone.
investigation,
Yes,
charging
Sarah Boone
decisions. As a
haircut.
prosecutor, I'm sure you had this
Yeah, but
experience. I
like
would get calls
she
from people,
worked at this.
hey, that's just a kid. Give him a
Her and a stylist were like, look, I would like it windswept here, but stiff as a board here. I've got incoming trade winds about here and a
Yeah.
cowlick here. So could we just,
Can you make my head look as lopsided as possible?
you're like, look, I
That's-
want to look like this chick that stuffed her fun-sized boyfriend into a suitcase, but not as white trashy. Could we do that?
Can you cover the horns? Can you cover the horns, please?
And the stylist was like, I don't know, but I'm not a magician, sweetheart. Just teasing, spraying, just, I don't know. I guess we're going country music awards. I don't even, it's the Fox. I don't know. She just wants it high to the heaven. Just tease it.
Just get it all over.
break. And I remember one answer I gave was he's 40 years old. He's not a kid. But that kind of interference is attempted all the time. And one of my concerns here, whether it's a call from a friend, a corporate lobbyist, a White House, it has been very clear that the attorney generals of both parties have established clear policies to ensure the White House doesn't tamper with criminal investigations and prosecutions.
Except they did, and they have. Merrick Garland is what he has been doing. He's been interfering with criminal investigations. He's the one that got all that stuff up, and I cannot wait to see him piss off.
Yes.
What a piece of crap.
Again, I think, and I'm speaking as someone who's vaguely politically homeless, I do skew more conservatarian, but that's just because I want to be left alone and I think the government sucks out loud at everything they try to help with. But it would be, you know what would get, because Democrats, you are losing people. You know what would actually get you people back is if one of you had the balls or the lady balls. Look at it's 2025. I ain't even going to touch Noah's entire arc of sexualities today. But if you stood there and said, look, this administration has obviously set a poor example. We want to, moving forward, obviously, you guys don't have to extend us this grace, but to move forward and actually mean it, you know, like to work across the aisle, like all the bullshit that you spew. If you could just actually do it for 5 seconds, maybe Congress would have more appeal than super aides.
Well, I think Congress and the Senate should be almost handicapped on the laws that they can pass. And I'm talking about both sides of the aisle, because it always seems like the laws that they're passing are doing nothing but to enrich themselves. They're not doing anything to help the American people, unless you just happen to be on the in crowd that happens to know which stocks that Nancy is buying and selling and what laws she's going to be passing and making.
And I would like to say I have done more in my little human power to spread Nancy Pelosi, you know, topless pics. She could give me a couple tips. I'm just saying I have done more to spread her swimsuit picture to my husband than any other human without maniacal intentions should. So really, I feel like I should get money for traumatizing my husband. Shizzy, I kid you not. He does every other day. I'll just be sending text, and then it's Nancy Pelosi in a swimsuit. And he's like, God, no.
Money gained from lobbyists should be illegal. Absolutely. There it is. Lobbyists are my friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
General Mike McCasey's hearing, he made clear that any attempt by the White House, and these are the words, to interfere with the case is not to be countenanced. Any call to a line assistant or to a United States attorney from a political person relating to a case is to be cut and curtailed. Do you agree with this statement?
Senator, yes, I believe that the Justice Department must be independent and must act independently. The number one job is to enforce the law fairly and even-handedly, and that's what will be done if I am confirmed as the Attorney General.
So you will provide an assurance to every member of this committee that the Justice Department will only follow the facts and the law, and the White House will play no role in cases investigated or brought?
You first.
Yeah, you first, our sweetheart. You see the little... You're going to say that you're not going to come after us, right? You're not going to come after us.
Don't you hate that smug? Look, this is why I couldn't deal with an office, because this chick is from HR, and I have realized that I have a highly vigorous allergy to HR women.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd be like, "We're here for a pip. We've noticed you're not really, politically correct." And I was like, "Oh, which joke about the Vatican was what are you here to see me about?"
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the way that I view all this. You have to remember that the executive can actually prosecute you. They can go after you. Now, her job as attorney general would be to see what they're wanting to bring against somebody and look at it and go, "Yeah, Mr. President, I'm sorry. We can't do
This is
that. We're not going to do that. That would be a bad idea. That doesn't follow the rule of law. You don't have any evidence of that. That's all hyper speculation. Now we can do a little bit of digging into it and see if there's anything valid there, but we're not going to go after every single person that you've got on your little punch list of those you want to go after. That's not how it's going to happen." But this is not what the Democrats did. The Democrats said, "Well, let's just go after anybody that disagrees with us and destroy them as much as possible."
Not only that, I mean, you would think you wouldn't be so smug when you have multiple big media outlets that are now having to settle because Discovery is going to make them look terrible. And if you think that that CNN case was settled because it was, nuisance money, as they tried to say,
Mm-hmm.
no, that punitive was going to put CNN out of business.
I
I
wish it
mean,
would have.
I think it does. People like this do fear these kind of smear campaigns because they've done them to other people.
Yes.
This is what they fear the most. In the middle of the night, they know that all of their closets can be opened. And quite frankly, we need to go back to the Senate that was what the founder said. You had farmers, you had business people. They took off, work about 6 weeks, did all the legal stuff, then went back to being whatever the hell they were actually functionally being.
And no, not anymore. Now what their job is they show up for a short period of time to pass laws, and the rest of the time they're in all these special committees, no different than some new world order kind of crap where they're just, they sit around and they lobby to make more money, to get more money for their coffers so that they can run for election the following year instead of doing a damn good job and their
Yeah.
constituents being happy with what they've done and getting voted back in. Instead, now it's all special interest. Let's see whose dongles we need to stroke just so we can get elected back in, so we can help out those guys, because
Yeah.
screw the little guy. We don't care about them till it
Yeah,
comes
it's
time
just
for our election.
there are small things that people that pay attention, if they would divest of little small things, because we are usually pragmatic enough to realize this system wasn't created overnight. But if they don't start doing some reforms, and if this is what I fear that Trump is going to get in and he is going to be moderated.
Yes.
And he is going to be hamstrung, not as much as he was with his first, trip down the kind of aisle and did that. But he is still going to be hamstrung because people do not understand how civics work. And they are going to become more disillusioned, drop out of the system, and we are going to be run by the vocal crazies who are really into this.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Senator, it will be my job, if confirmed as Attorney General, to make those decisions. Politics will not play a part. I've demonstrated that my entire career as a prosecutor, as Attorney General, and I will continue to do that if you confirm me as the 87th Attorney General of the United States of America.
In an earlier question, with some of my colleagues talked about China and the risk, yet you have a nominee from this incoming administration, Kash Patel, the pick to head the FBI, of serious concern.
Her confirmation has nothing to do with Kash Patel. Absolutely nothing to do with Kash Patel.
Not to mention, do we want to talk about a large, not paybackable loan that a certain leaving administration got from the CCP? Do we want to go after companies like Disney who used, the slave labor from the not so great camps over there and thank them? I mean, you guys pick and choose when the CCP or Russia or Ukraine is going to be the big thing. So pick a lane. because
one
you're
thing there.
cozying up to one dictator to snub another one.
Oh, and another thing that they're not talking about, you notice that the news has gotten really, really, really quiet over the past few months over Ukraine. You notice that it's gotten very hush hush, very quiet. You notice that there was a lot of people getting like blanket free passes. What's going on with all that? What do you think that some of these people might be going, oh crap, if she starts researching what's been going on, where that money's been going and coming from in Ukraine, that's going to raise a lot of red flags. They're wanting blanket immunity for all of the past things that they've done. And if you remember, there was a certain person that might have had gun charges and tax charges and was supposed to be doing some time. And guess what? He got completely let off for things prior to all of that while he was dealing with Burisma. Interesting, isn't it? That all that stuff just went away like it never happened.
See, okay, so here's where I vacillate, Shizzy, because I vacillate because part of me thinks that going in and digging all of that up, as truthful and transparent as it is going to be more divisive.
Yes.
So I worry about that, but then I worry about also we do have this guiding principle that really has been tarnished, that no one is above the law. So how far do we want to go in this? And I think that's where a lot of people are really struggling, because I do worry about, yes, I'd love to go, table flip in Jesus mode and go smite all the people that took, any sort of pleasure in, let's say, over criminalizing a lot.
Yeah.
But then it also becomes, does this become a tit for tat? Because we know we have limits generally on the conservatarian side.
I don't
In
think
fact,
it's
you can
tit for
say,
tat. It's as simple as this. The
Yeah.
actions that they took, that they willingly took, knew that those actions were treasonous. And those actions,
True.
the reaction for treason is very harsh and very cruel. But it should be there as a deterrent to stop people from ever doing the crap that they've done ever again. And if that means that we have to, use SpaceX to launch some politicians onto Mars to colonize there, then I think that should be done. I think they should be the test subjects to make sure that they can land there. And we'll see how well that they can rule and govern.
Oh my God,
because we know
Shizzy,
that they're the
I would
smartest people in the
totally
world.
watch Real World Mars with Adam Schiff and all of them when politicians get real. Oh my God,
Yes.
I would watch the shit out of that. Damn it, why can't I have the South Park magic so I could make this? Because could you imagine the South Parkian crap? Trey, Matt, get with me. I have ideas. I have no technical knowledge. Okay. But I have good ideas.
The trip to Mars, it's because it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you launch them in there overnight. It's a long trip, and they can sort of be, you give them just enough food to make it halfway.
Oh my God, we go full Event Horizon and start making them see weird things that they voted for in hologram.
Yes. Yes.
Concerns about him, has referred to the FBI's Intel Division, which is responsible for protecting us from foreign adversaries like China, as, quote, the biggest problem the FBI...
As she sucked up to China. As she sucked up to China and all of the woke ideology. They're supposed to, the FBI is supposed to protect us from that. No, it's not. That's not the FBI's job. FBI is domestic.
If the FBI wants to focus on something, we could figure out why we have, I think, up to 100 active Chinese courts that are going after defectors, political dissidents that are over here in America. I do kind of wonder why we have CCP Sharia going on in America.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
weird
question.
how that works. Yeah, this
FBI has had, and he said that he wants to, quote, break that component out of the FBI. Do you agree?
I have not seen those comments from Mr. Patel. I would review them, but we have to do everything we can to protect our country. Again, Mr. Patel would fall under me and the Department of Justice, and I will ensure that all laws are followed, and so will he.
There you go.
there are many decisions made by the FBI director.
She
Have you
hates
seen a
this.
number of them do their work
She hated
that
that.
can be made? While I agree you would be the boss of Kash Patel, I'm not sure that you would be able to intervene with every decision or position that he had or know what he's doing. So let's continue. Do you agree it is a duty of the Justice
Then
Department
why-
to defend the laws Congress passes?
Was it
And will you
Shizzy?
commit?
If she agrees that the premise that she put out there is fakakta, okay, that she is not going to micromanage the FBI, then she makes this little smugly smirk, like you're supposed to. I had kind of assumed if you were smart enough to be the head of the FBI, you didn't need a baby wiper behind you explaining what was going on.
No. Kash Patel is very aware of what's going on. You have to understand his level.
Yeah, he is. He's aware, but it's the arguing from two different perspectives that the logic loop just gets me. It's like I'm a Vulcan and I'm Spock and I'm like, does not compute. Go back, stupid fact said by stupid woman.
Yes.
But she's over here again stating it's not in her job title, but then she's also expecting it to be in her job title. It just, if you don't want me to repeal the 19th Amendment, the first act that I get into presidency, and then of course I'm an empress, so I'm immune from the 19th repeal. Don't say stupid stuff like this and then call yourself a strong woman. Can I speak for all of Lady Chat that we are so tired of being told to vote with our lady bits as if every single thing. I'm going to be real honest with you. Female reproductive rights, abortion was not even on my radar for voting. And I'm offended that everyone feels like it should have been because I had a boobs and, fallopian tubes at one point. I am so tired of being talked down to because I'm a woman and, being asked to vote just specifically because I have a uterus. It's amazing, but my brain doesn't think about my uterus 127,000 times a year. It doesn't. Now, it never lets me know what temperature I'm going to be, because that would be fucking awesome. But no, doesn't do that. But it sure as hell doesn't tell me how to vote. So come to me like a real human that has real thoughts in my head and don't go, oh, you have boobs. You must really care about lady bits. Because I don't. Not all that much in compared to everything else.
And when it comes to these kind of things, most men don't care about the lady bits either. You have to understand half of these guys are probably gay anyway. I mean that with all love.
We are fighting for more irresponsible sex. Wonderful. And all you women who are sticking it to the conservatives by deciding not to date and sleep around, Briar Rabbit called. We're really upset. Please, no, don't act chaste. Please. No, show your lady bits and your lady lips on all over TikTok. No.
Yeah. I don't think people should be voting with their sex organs or lack thereof or whatever it is that they're doing behind closed doors shouldn't affect politics at all.
No.
Because that politics should stay out of that. Politics should stay out of the bedroom, no matter what side of the aisle that you're swinging from. Just as long as you're not harming kids, have at it. Kids are the off limits thing. Go do it. Well, don't harm animals either, but go do your thing. Go be happy. Whatever your happiness means. Just leave kids and animals out of it. We're good to go.
If we all lived by the Moe doctrine, which is don't ask, don't tell unless I ask, and then tell me everything. We're going to be here for 3 hours. Okay, so like when you're in the furry pile, like do you bring your own? Like I am going to ask you detailed, ridiculous questions, but I won't unless you're willing to participate. But otherwise, I don't ask. You don't tell me what you do with your, leather harness in your bedroom. I don't ask, and you don't tell. Remember when we used to do that? Remember when you didn't go to a parade and find out Mr. McClintock was, a closet furry / stuffy with a leather fetish? Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah, it was. Let's make America safe again.
To do even when the president may disagree with an act campaigned against its passage or called for its repeal. President Reagan's AG, William French Smith, said the department policy was the department has the duty to defend an act of Congress whenever a reasonable argument can be made in its support. So I'm specifically referring to the 2022 law that I long led that we passed to empower Medicare to negotiate drug prices, major savings for seniors.
No, that has nothing to Medicare. No. I'm sorry.
That's it. We're remaking The Office, only every time Michael says no, we're just putting Shizzy in there. I have all the ideas today. I am a genius.
No. Just no. Just no. Like
none of what she said made any coherent sense. Because
this is ridiculous. Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Oh, so you're saying that there should be a different price level for someone that's on Medicare as compared to someone that's not on Medicare. Well, how about this? Go suck off, because that raises the prices for everybody else. The people that are not on Medicare, the people that can't afford to be on Medicare. Because there's a certain limit that you have to hit just to be eligible for Medicare. And no, you shouldn't have a government entity dictating what drug prices should be for its people.
So why wasn't Medicare working at getting the lowest prices for its constituents, its customers this entire time? I mean, call me crazy. I know I am blonde under here, but I would figure that any sort of functional, entity would want to cut costs and negotiate the best prices. Are you telling me that someone in the government had to write a law to tell these morons that they should go for the less price? Because awesome. I blame the Federal Department of Education.
Well, and that's why Trump is targeting all of these big pharma firms. Like he's going after them. They don't realize it yet, but he's about to put a smackdown on them.
Yeah, because I think he's moving back to, there was a period of time, I do believe either in his presidency, or they are no longer going to be able to advertise medicines for news, for things like that. So every time, you're on Hulu and you're just trying to watch The Big Bang Theory, you won't have to find out what could help you, but also give you, exploding farts and flatulence.
Well, worse than that. I mean, they're talking like, oh, this could cause massive depression and make you want to self-delete. But hey, you too can, get something that's going to be a healthy weight loss drug. It's totally 100% effective. Yeah, you lose a lot of weight whenever you hit the ground at 90 miles an hour. Just saying, you lose a lot of weight.
It's ridiculous, but I have never felt more comfortable with my PrEP pills. I swear, if I see one more HIV PrEP pill commercial, now obviously I'm not the demographic. I get it. But again.
Oh, speaking of losing a lot of weight. Hey, Joe. And hello, sir. How are
you? Losing a lot of weight. I'm the wrong guest. I think you were expecting somebody else.
We
didn't want to out you, but your juice-o-matic, the juicing diet's really working.
Mo, I told you, as soon as I'm done, I will box it up and send it to you for anybody that might need it up there. You want the what? The Ribolator.
Remember the bronchophilia said it? It was the respirator.
Yes.
And I always wanted. I asked my mom for I was a weird child. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm sure you guys have figured that one out. But I really wanted a pair of suspenders because I was going to sell stuff when I grew up. And for some reason, I thought for sales, you needed sales.
Absolutely.
Spenders.
Yeah.
Sales spenders. So I was going to set it and forget it.
You need suspenders and a top hat. Come here, see? I got something for you right here. It's right in the suitcase.
Me and Willy Wonka, I'd be like, no, don't eat the chocolate. I probably love that movie for the wrong reasons, but seeing these a-holes get theirs, my mom was like, why do you love this show? And I was like, because the a-holes get theirs. And my mom was like, we're not letting you watch that at 8 years old.
I never thought of it that way, but as an adult, I have come to appreciate it. The bratty little kids getting theirs, and the parents
And
having to watch in horror. Yes.
Augustus, stop eating. I laugh like I'm going to hell at that part.
Oh my God. It was all of it was so hilarious. Ronnie Popple's Pocket Fisherman. I still have the package.
Seniors, will you commit to defend the law against the lawsuits from Big Pharma?
Senator, I was involved in big pharma cases when I was Attorney General of the state of Florida, and I will commit to protect the laws of the United States of America.
States of America.
Thank you. That would also, same question, with the Supreme Court is going to be hearing a challenge to the Affordable Care Act's coverage of preventative services. And despite the fact that you twice joined suits to have the entire Affordable Care Act invalidated, will you?
As it should be.
Well, I mean, if the Supreme Court, it doesn't matter. It's whatever the Supreme Court says. That's what goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a stupid question.
Well,
course, I expect nothing less from Amy Klobuchar.
We have determined she has classy Sarah Boone.
Yeah, I believe this is very different. It's a very isolated. It's different. It's not the entire Affordable Care Act.
Oh,
but I will. It's pending litigation, of course, within the department.
Since the 1990s, the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act has protected patients, providers, and facilities that provide reproductive health services.
Here we go.
Oh, sweetheart.
It's abortion.
So it's abortion. That's what they're talking about. So just you can call it what you want to. You can call it health services, reproductive health services, or non-reproductive health services. How about that? That sounds a little more appropriate, wouldn't you say?
Is the war on fetuses taken? I mean,
yeah, because
a war on poverty, a war on housing.
Politically, it's easier to lump in the war on fetuses. It's easier to lump that into women's health in general, even though that's such a broad spectrum. It comes across easier. Oh, you're against women's health. No, I'm just against you doing stuff to the unborn. Sorry.
Yeah, how about all that money that they've been spending on, deleting the human race? Why not do something productive, like maybe put some breast cancer screening machines there? I mean, wouldn't that be like a little more of a noble cause?
It's given at Planned Parenthood. Just if you want to know, my family, we found out we've got, on both sides, we've got pretty high markers. So I did call around to see, where these free mammograms were for my, not uterus, but apparently I would have to go to my doctor. I did get one. I'm fine. But it was like, oh, seriously, great. Also, as a ladyist, if we tested for testicular cancer the same way we did for breast cancer, we would find a less invasive and uncomfortable test. So men, work on that.
No, see, that wouldn't work with men. We'd be turned on.
Yeah.
Smushing your testicles.
If they were down there playing with our stuff, we just get turned on. So no, it wouldn't have the same effect. And some of them like it rough. So
to a plate, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna need to get a bigger plate." And I'm like,
I mean, just the you have to get this image in your mind. Don't think about it too hard. I didn't mean it like that. Okay.
I never think. I always flop
the military entrance processing center, MEPS. Whenever you go there, there's a little thing that they do. That they have a nurse that a doctor that comes in and tells you to turn your head and cough. Now it's not very. It can be quite entertaining in a room of like 50 or 60 guys standing there. And the doctor that comes in is smoking hot and tells you to turn your head and cough. I can tell you there were at least 30 occasions where she had to say, "I'll come back to you."
I'm sure,
because they were standing at not parade rest. Let's put it that way. They were very much at attention.
Wouldn't take at a full staff flag.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you are here to do
Just saying.
They thought Taps was being played. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. It was turn and cough, and there was a lot of guys who were like like you're grabbing my you're grabbing my stuff. Woo. And we're talking about teenage men. I mean, they're still in their teens, okay? And if they got like this 26-year-old doctor that's showing up that looks like, now you would go, damn, she should be doing OnlyFans, like showing up.
Oh yeah.
Asking you to turn your head and cough. Jeez,
my MEPS
Louise.
intake.
It probably does now.
Yeah, I was going to say my MEPS intake had the femininity and grace of a young Janet Reno. So,
oh God,
I did not get that. I was hoping for a hot lesbian, and what I got was the lady that taught me how to play kickball and told me to walk it off whenever I got hurt in 8th grade.
Catch it to the face. I just walk it off. It's like, but a
gym teacher.
Take a lap. Take a knee, girls. Take a knee. We're going to talk about boys trying to tempt you into Satan. And I was like, I don't know that you're the right lady to tell me about.
I don't think you've ever been worried about it, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say her curly mullet on point. I mean, total tight curl in the front, and then like the cascading waterfall of very tight jerry curls in the back. Curly girl method worked for her.
Nice.
Will you commit to continuing to enforce the FACE Act to address violence and threats against those providing reproductive health care services?
Those aren't reproductive.
Senator, the FACE Act not only protects.
But that being said, no, you shouldn't be doing any sort of violence against any one of these people ever.
No,
that's against the law in any state. It's against the law to go and attack somebody, assault somebody, harass somebody, attack them violently and physically. Those are all against the law, and you should be prosecuted for doing that. If you're setting off little explosive things in buildings, that's against the freaking law. You should be prosecuted. I don't care if you agree or disagree with whatever policy they have.
Time we had an Eric Rudolph. Let's be real. When's the last time that we had an Olympics, guy? That was definitely the purview of the early 90s.
Yeah.
So while I get that it is a threat, let's put the real threats out there. I am so damn tired of, again, using women and children as a shield and a club to beat people with. Personally, as a woman, I take just as much ownership of my safety if I'm going to a place as, a dude. Yes, I get the reality, the biological reality that I'm not as strong, but that means that I take extra precautionary steps because it is incumbent upon me to do it.
Yes.
One thing government has always done, and this is both sides, is they want to pass new laws. Never mind the fact that there are already laws on the books that cover these things that they don't enforce.
But murder is not double illegal yet. And when it's double illegal, only...
But it is.
You'll get a permit.
It's not double illegal. It's just illegal.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you put this into consideration, that a lot of these folks in certain instances don't believe that the child exists until after it's been outside the womb breathing and can eat on its own. They don't believe it is viable. Okay. Now you put that same person that their wife or their son or their daughter is in a car accident and kills the mother and the child, and they consider it a child. Then these are the same people.
It's a double homicide. Yeah.
So I'm just saying that these are the same people that are okay with calling it a zygote or some crap like that. It's just like, really?
It was an embryo.
Yeah, it was just an embryo.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent again.
But that really, we want to talk about feelings and we want to talk about respect for women. There are so many women out there that have had miscarriages, that have had, babies born sleeping. And this is such a disgrace to them. Yes. And it's heartbreaking. And could we just go back to safe, legal, and rare? Could we all go back to remembering that this is a solemn thing that shouldn't be celebrated? It is a terrible ending of something. Could we
Yeah.
just agree it's an ending of something? Could we not? That's the problem. I would never have talked about this if there hadn't been some cretinous harpies shouting about their abortions, because to me, we don't ever talk about, we want to talk about real productive healthcare. What about the support? Are you giving any of these women support if they've had regretful feelings, if they feel the pain and loss of that? Are you doing anything? Because there have been studies that show that these women are messed up.
Yep.
And this is a lifelong pain that they are going to carry. Do you care about them there, or only when they're a political pawn? Because their pain doesn't matter to you unless, you know, it's for something you can get. That is why I don't like these people. And I usually don't like try to get all, but these women just repeat the 19th.
And the ones that scream the loudest, the ones you see at the protests when in regards to women's reproductive rights, are women that are never going to have to worry about it in the first place.
No.
You said it, I didn't, but I will.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Look, it's really, really dark sometimes, and you just fall over, and it happens. At least allegedly, that's what I told my dad with my third daughter. So
look, 300-pound woman with purple hair. We know which team you play for. Okay, it's never going to be an issue for you. Shut up.
He's not wrong.
Well, that and the fact that kids are great. I am so tired. Look, I had my kids when I was in my early 20s. Did I have them in the greatest situations? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I was an after-school special, like going hard with Ricky Lake and Oprah as my mentors, okay? But each and every one of those children have brought such amazing joy and perspectives to me, and I'm so tired of it. Having kids is great. It changes your life. Yeah, you can't be all about yourself. But god dang, if that's the worst lesson you have to learn, to not be all about yourself, have some kids.
The perspective of the youngest, most feral has to be the most entertaining of all your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Look, God slipped him in because he assumed he knew I would go full Darth Vader. Let's be real. So he had to send in someone to stop me from gaining all of my ambitions.
Abortion clinics, but it also protects pregnancy centers and people going for counseling. The law should be applied even-handedly. Yes, Senator.
So you'll uphold the enforcement of that law?
I'll uphold the enforcement of the law, Senator.
Okay, and I will ask my antitrust questions in the next round. We had a good discussion about that, and I do appreciate the nominee that has been put in place for the antitrust division, and there's incredibly important work that has to be done in that division. So
Gail Slater is remarkable.
They've gone pretty
I thank
easy
all
on
my
her.
colleagues for abiding by the 7-minute rule. Before I call on Senator Lee, I want everybody to plan on our first break would be about 11:50, and that would be 30 minutes for lunch. Senator Lee.
Thank you,
That Dick Durbin.
Yeah, that's Grassley.
Oh, God.
That's Grassley.
Oh, Grassley. Okay.
So let's see. They're going to have Senator Lee. Don't really care. Of course, one of my favorites is coming up right after him.
I do have a crush on him. I don't know.
Mike Lee.
He reminds me of a snarky Colonel Sanders, and I just love that about Senator.
Yeah, this next one is gonna be fun.
From you about the specifics of that.
Just hold on.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Senator.
Senator Cruz would be next, but he's not here, so I call on Senator Kennedy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, my favorite.
Yes.
Ms. Bondi, welcome. Congratulations. Can we agree that legitimacy is important to America's criminal justice system?
Yes, Senator.
Can we agree that legitimacy is important to the Department of Justice, which in part administers our criminal justice system?
Yes, Senator.
And if Americans come to believe that our criminal justice system or our Department of Justice is acting illegitimately, that makes Americans less likely to accept the results of that system, does it not?
Yes, Senator.
And that makes Americans less likely to follow the substantive laws that we pass that are administered by the Department of Justice. Isn't that true?
Yes, Senator.
And if that happens, we have chaos, don't we?
Chaos.
And the social contract is breached, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember a person by the name of Michael Avenatti?
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Several years ago, he was a media star here in Washington.
An attorney, correct?
Yes. He was a media star. And many members of our media loved him because he persistently bashed Donald Trump. And he was on TV every day. He was on CNN more than Wolf Blitzer.
That's a lot.
Do you know where Mr. Avenatti is today?
I believe he's sitting in prison, Senator.
He's in jail because he was a crook.
Okay, pause it.
And the Department
Shizzy.
of Justice helped put him there.
This is why I love Senator Kennedy, because he will take 7 minutes. He will take 3 minutes to be a petty asshole
Yes.
and just be super petty and ask questions real slow and get her. And then he's like, I mean, I'm even going to forgive him for stealing my grandma's readers. She needs those for the crossword puzzle and Sudoku, even though that is Asian and she's not quite sure about it. My grandma was a trip. I just love it because I can see my grandma coming up to me saying, I don't know why they are calling Catholics racist. We have a Latin mass and there are a bunch of Hispanic people. Why Sister Guadipa over there can do a rosary in 5 minutes, you know, because my grandma just wouldn't, she'd be like, we have Hispanics.
She has to whisper
She
it.
would
Yes.
whisper it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, we do all sorts of things. We are not racist.
The funny part is somebody told Kennedy, you know, you need a little color in your wardrobe. Why don't we change up your glasses?
And he's like, look, Harry Potter's done with these. He's graduated. Have these.
Yeah. he done graduated Hogwarts. He don't need these no more.
Or Sally Jesse Raphael. Like when
Yes.
she wasn't wearing her red glasses, she'd wear those tortoise ones.
Yes.
With that closing
my
statement.
God.
Like, at the end of the day, folks, you got to have trust in the American system, okay?
Okay.
Didn't.
Yes, Senator.
Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yes,
Yeah.
Senator.
Boy genius.
He's just going full petty.
Yes.
So smart and so powerful that he thought he could command the tides. So smart and so
Have you seen
powerful
his
and so
girlfriend?
rich
That was a woof.
that he would go to meetings with serious people like Bill Clinton, like Tony Blair, looking like a slob, looking like a
serious person.
fourth runner-up to a John Belushi lookalike contest. And he thought it was cute. Where's Mr. Bankman-Fried today?
I believe he is in prison, and I believe that's from the Netflix series I saw as well.
Because he's a crook. And who helped put him there?
The Department of Justice, Senator.
Can we agree that there's some really, really good men and women at the Department of Justice?
Yes.
Many great men and women in the Justice
There are.
Department, as
There are.
well, Senator, as all the law enforcement agencies that fall within the Department of Justice. They're out there risking their lives, especially the law enforcement officers, every single day.
Can we agree, though, that there have been and may be today some bad people at the Department of Justice?
Yes, Senator.
We don't know for sure because for the last 4 years, the curtains there have been tightly drawn. But I think a minority of people there, have delegitimized America's criminal justice system. The most destabilizing act that I saw in the past 4 years, maybe in the history of the department, is when Attorney General Garland decided on the basis of dubious facts and untested legal theories to criminally prosecute a former president of the United States.
Yes.
And not only that, this is the special part. He decided to do it after the former president of the United States had announced that he was going to run against Attorney General Garland's boss, didn't he?
Senator, are you referring to going after a political opponent?
Oh my God.
Now,
Just smugly
this
on
is
that
one person's
face.
opinion.
I think
That
I saw
kind of
her
stupid
heart
makes
just
a
grow
plan.
like 2 sizes bigger, like the cringe.
And I say that because, number one, this is America.
That
had never happened before in America. That's the sort of thing that
because it
happens
curled all the way around
in a
like the
country
Grinches.
whose Powerball jackpot is 287 chickens and a goat. Doesn't happen here. And I call it stupid
I had to send my
because
goat
it
back
broke
in.
the seal.
Oh,
it broke the seal.
Dang, there was all my chickens.
It normalized.
For Mr. Moe, they were going to be currency.
There are a lot of ambitious prosecutors in America,
No, they're
Democrat and
nuggets.
Republican. And I'll bet you right now there's some prosecutor in a particular state thinking about, well, maybe I ought to file criminal charges against President Biden's inner circle for conspiring to conceal his mental decline. And that's the road we're headed down. And you've got to fix it, Counselor. You've got to fix it. And here's, in my judgment, what I would ask you to do. Find out who the bad guys are and the bad women and get rid of them. Find out who the good people are and lift them up. But do it on the basis of facts and evidence and fairness. Because the temptation of some people is going to be, they're going to tell you, look, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but they do make it even. Don't resist that temptation. Help us restore legitimacy to the Department of Justice.
Thank you, Senator.
That was Senator Kennedy. I love that man. He is just awesome.
He's my favorite. He is my favorite.
Oh God, Blumenthal.
So Blumenthal, I don't know. That's just a perfect example of him right there.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to sell me Aimway knives that aren't really good.
No. Know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of that preacher that said that it was okay for him to be buying $1 million jet.
Yes.
And yeah, that's exactly who he reminds me of.
No, it was God, I can't think of the guy's name.
I want to say Eddie Haskell, but I know that's not the right name.
No, it's there's this like evangelical minister that runs one of those mega churches.
No, I
that's
know.
who he reminds me of, and I can't remember his name.
And I love them so much. Tammy Faye was my favorite.
It's not Osteen. It's not Joe.
No,
Swaggart.
not Jimmy Swaggart. No, it isn't Jimmy
guy.
Swaggart. It's God, what is that guy's name? Because he looks almost identical to him, like same haircut, same facial features. Oh my God, what is that guy's name? I'll figure it out.
700 Club.
No, it's not Pat Robertson.
Oh, we got this that's happening here. Let's share this instead here.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's
Corey
not
Buck.
yelling, I am Sporadicus.
Corey
He doesn't know
Bucker.
Spartacus.
What is this?
Who
All
is
right,
the
no music.
angry short woman in the front who looks like she's pissed off Danny DeVito to be here?
And you see Barron over there. You got Barron right here.
Barron's like
Barron,
12
you
Towers
wear your
over
height
almost all
proudly.
of them, except for
Just
this
stand
guy
up
over
straight,
here.
son. It's okay. You're just going to be tall. You're just tall.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep. Look at this. These are people that are up on that stage. Ladies and gentlemen, escorting Dr. Biden.
The Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Ms. Emily Levine.
You imagine all the work it took to vet every single person that's in there. Because the only way you're getting in there is if you went through an extensive background check.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I just want to see him walk out and just face plant. Just
Okay, when do we do the shepherd's hook and the gong?
Right after Trump gets sworn in.
Now, First Lady Jill
It's,
Biden.
it's the it's the
and
first
Second
it's the
Gentleman
first
Oh my God, let
lady.
me do commentary.
It's the
She's
second
holding in
lady.
her
filler.
rage so much. Oh, look at that smile, holding in her rage and her deep desire to stab
I'm
people.
surprised Bill showed up.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
she's shaking Hillary's hand.
Well, somebody said he was back massages. That's why he showed up. Patrick W., do you know someone that can do a Florida Mega Mega Millions where the logo holds turtles, walruses, moles, and gators? Kennedy has some great ideas.
Oh my gosh, we need to have a Florida Lotto.
No.
Oh my God, that's
Now
for you.
imagine this. Imagine this. All right. It was bad enough that Camel Toe had to preside over the verification of the ballots.
Yes.
But now Trump gets to walk in front of Hillary for a second time.
Is Dr. Biden looking a lot more like Dee Snider from, than I ever imagined would be possible?
Oh my God.
I think she looks happy.
I don't know. She's a cutie right there, though, in the blue dress.
Oh, hells yeah. Well, yes. Bring back that America, not the pantsuit Kim Jong-un. Bring back
Yes.
hot chicks. I'm here for the hot chick delegation.
People love Jackie Kennedy for a reason.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah. She
Although
as he was banging Mary.
Meh.
Oh, she
Marilyn,
froze up.
I think
I mean,
took pictures, which would have been a
Details.
solid
Think
white
about this.
move.
The only problem I really had with Jackie was her eyes were so far apart, like it was crazy. And speaking
It was the
of
talking. It was the breathiness that bothered me because I thought she had emphysema.
well,
Speaking of emphysema,
yeah.
How are you today, sir? Okay, how's it going? Fine, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, expert.
What are you crazy clowns doing? Hey, you're watching something I'm watching.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we are.
well, I actually got
Ooh, I
sleep, so I don't sound like, my throat's wanting to rip out of my chest.
Sleep? How can you sleep on a day like today?
I
It's easy.
know.
It's called going to bed.
Did you put your Pabst and your Constitution under your doorstep so that you will bring, the Constitution fairy will bring you back freedom in the morning?
Yes. Yes.
I did. The Pabst was half empty. I had a restraining order and a ticket for cops, but freedom is back, MFers.
Yes, it is.
Oh wait, hold on. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, it's Gingrich.
What am I hearing?
Is that Tipper Gore?
No, it's probably
right
Gingrich's
there?
wife.
Either
That's
that
what
or
it was.
that
Oh,
lady from
God.
Monsters
Is
got
that-
out of the
Oh.
booth.
No,
Is
Tipper
that
Gore's
Nancy
dead. honey.
Wasserman Schultz?
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's been dead for
hell
years.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't dig. I mean, she looked like they dug her up a long time ago. But no, she's still in the ground.
Oh,
This lady has a beak right here, man. Look at that beak. That thing is just like
Who?
I think that's
whoever this is right here. I mean, that is a beak.
wife, maybe?
She could
That's
smell you
that's
from
Nick
miles
Gingrich's
away.
wife.
I don't care.
Man, she's got a beak on her. I thought.
That's what she
then
was.
who's
I'm saying it was.
I thought this was Gingrich's wife right there.
No.
That's his mom.
That's his mom.
Probably is his mom.
I'm joking. No.
No, his wife is like 30 years younger.
Chick on Monsters Inc. that always collected the papers raw.
Oh, there's what's her name?
Wasserman
horrible
Schultz.
Wasserman.
Schultz. Yeah, she was the head of the DNC for a while. Complete
Yeah.
disaster.
She has the Chinese spot.
The Republicans from Texas.
She's
Yep.
got the ramen noodle perm.
There's Ivanka.
Joe Biden's
Did you
looking
really
for
have to
Joe.
dress like Eva Perón, ma'am? Seriously?
Yeah, why not?
Bill's checking
She's
out
like,
chicks.
don't cry for me,
Do what?
America.
Bill's
Bill's
checking out
checking out
chicks.
chicks. Yeah, Jill's
Yep.
looking for Joe. There's Elon.
Joe's looking for Joe.
Is Elon really?
Elon is
Barron's
adopted
dad?
son, Baron.
Standing in front of me while I'm also next to Barrett.
Oh, wait a second, I forgot. There's a chat in here. I was like,
Mother, of course, died while
sorry.
There's a
I
chat?
forgot where I was
in
for
the
a
White
second.
House, and
Yeah, there she is.
her
She's
dad is
looking
back
for
to watch her become
Joe.
first lady for the second time.
What's up,
Shelley.
Shelly?
I do that other thing.
I'm telling you, she's happier. She's happier.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's where I said Bill was checking out the checks.
Oh, okay.
I thought, what happened to him? Well, he was in the hospital a week ago, wasn't he?
Was he? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
They had put out, and
Does anyone
things
check
you know,
if
if
Jill
you-
bought a lot of
rarely, if
antifreeze?
ever,
Because I think she's,
happen
once the
on
DNC
schedule,
party happens,
except
she
things like
is smiling because
inauguration.
that punch bowl is full of
should be
antifreeze.
seeing
Taking
JD
the
Vance
light.
take his oath
What's up?
Where he is.
as vice
What's up,
president
Lady in
in about
Blue?
10 minutes from now.
I know, Lady in Blue is hot.
As Brett
Not the one in
Kavanaugh
purple,
awaits
one in
actually
blue.
administering that oath.
Where's that?
They're different fans for OnlyFans for different people.
Well, I guess there is
Oh my
a
God. Can someone
TILF.
caption? We need to pause it, do a screen grab on Elon.
Look at the little
and-
blonde back there. Wow. She's cute.
And
Too.
say,
Some nice bone
all I
structure.
did was
daughter.
tell Disney to F off.
It's Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, Tiffany. She's preggers.
Huh.
I can understand why.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You
got-
see the old
You
pictures
got
of her?
Eric's wife, and then you got Tiffany to her left.
Yeah. Eric's wife, she's the heir apparent, man. She's the brains behind the operation.
Apparently,
Mhm.
she's the one that they're trying to put into Rubio's place
Ah.
down in Florida.
Let's not go dynastic. Let's not do that. Look. It didn't help with the Bushes.
It's not a
Let's not go
dynasty if
dynastic.
it's in-law, is it?
I just saw some lady
Yes.
that looked like. At first, I thought it was
That's
Michael
that way.
Jackson because they were wearing like the total pimp hat. It was just like, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
I heard Michael Jackson. I heard him. Where is he?
Oh my gosh. Did they put Obama in the back? Like, I'm sorry, sir, you're a little tall. So you're gonna
I
go-
think Obama's not even there.
No, he
No,
is. He's
Obama's
behind
Oh,
there.
he
us.
is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so is Bush.
Yeah, but who? They all said they weren't coming.
Oh, there's Bush.
Oh man, if I was Bush, I'd just be ripping some farts right now. Just
He probably is.
hey Biden, I mean Barack. Just
Looks like a wedding. Like,
Or a funeral.
It's kind of weird,
Jeez.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Being inside.
There's such a break. You would think they're probably having to explain to Biden how to get up and
look,
down.
you
the
even
two
have
steps.
Supreme Court justices there too.
I mean, for crying out loud,
Yeah, they
Andrew
got
Jackson
sworn
had a
in.
kegger on the White House lawn.
Exactly.
Let's go back to
Bring-
that.
Bring
They
back
got
mud
so
wrestling.
drunk.
Well, that's after
They
he
got
sworn in,
so drunk.
but he
Beside
got
the
sworn
point.
in in
Beside
March.
the
though.
point.
Yeah, he got sworn in March. That's what he
Yeah.
used to do it. But like this is the first time I think we ever seen it inside, isn't it? This is the first
Yeah,
televised.
First time I've
presidential
seen it
inaug-
inside.
I mean, I think it's the first one since TV.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking off of like history.
Oh,
Melania.
Oh, look at that.
Got a
That's
Marine.
so elegant.
And then Melania
I know. I
Trump
want to be her when I
about
grow
to be
up.
escorted into
So
the
Chanel.
rotunda.
This, but this whole thing has a very royalty feel to it. It's one
Yeah.
thing that bothers me. I'm like, this is weird. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you talk about Andrew Jackson. You know, that's and I, of course, I do have a tie into this, but you know, Trump in his first term said that he was very Jacksonian. He thought Andrew Jackson was the man of the people, and all that stuff. And Andrew Jackson, he was a rebel rouser. But also, if you look at Trump's first presidential portrait and his current presidential portrait, and in the middle right there, you gotta just put a blank and
Put
say
an X.
but and just say y'all messed up. This dude's mad.
He took his mugshot and basically had it made into a portrait, which great branding. I mean,
Exactly.
They need to do like they do in the NCAA. Just take it down and put a sign that says vacated.
instead of
Look
getting
at,
sworn in, you get a big old belt buckle with the Constitution on it.
Look at Caitlin over here with the trivia answer for later. If William Henry Harrison had his inside,
Oh God!
Too soon. Too soon.
Yep.
It's got the brains there.
Yeah.
It's true.
That is very true.
Who's this guy?
And Caitlin does have an invite. If
I
she's,
don't care.
she's
He has
not
a
too
velvet
busy.
coat. We are calling him and finding his tailor.
Come on,
You
Caitlin.
got an invite, Caitlin.
I don't know if she knows how a microphone works, though.
That's true. That's true.
If she can prove it, she can get there and prove it, right?
Why did I think this guy was a singer? As soon as he walked out, I was like, this guy is a singer. And sure enough.
This is the first
I'm muting it because I don't want to get a copyright thing.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing.
yeah.
The one of the balls last night. Oh, they had the village people out there. They're like, "Oh, we can't play this."
No,
gotcha.
So paparazzi here, like in this. I mean, all this whole thing seems very, very
royal.
Royal. Thank you. Royal's the word I was trying to think of. Very royal. It's so odd.
Like kind of like more like Rome, bringing in the new emperor.
What's this guy doing wearing tennis shoes? How disrespectful! Comes rolling and you're wearing tennis shoes.
Oh, look,
well, she's dressed up like Janet.
Wearing tennis shoes coming in. What a slob! I'm sorry. That's just he looks like a complete slob. Both these guys. Look. Okay, you're wearing a suit. Why not button this crap up? Why do you look like some?
No, it's a style. It's one button. That's actually fine.
Yeah, but it's a little short.
It is.
Yeah, it just looks wrong.
It does not give a clean line.
Expert, turn your TV down.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, oh, good. I was wondering if I was having a stroke because I'm like, oh, you're the tenor.
This way.
Here they come.
There you go. Sorry.
You know it's Eater alive. It's like, this is supposed to be my inauguration day.
Oh, God.
I don't know who told her that. Whoever said that to her lied. Let's see here. Where is?
Oh, my gosh.
This link. All right, I'm gonna. When you guys have
There's old Bill and the Hildebeest.
When you
I don't know that your
check out your
stream is showing.
JD. Isn't it cool we have a vice president named JD?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. See, man, this guy's doing it too. Button those buttons up. I mean, jeez.
Well, that's the professor.
Unbutton it.
Look,
make a decision.
Black, you're still gonna people are gonna notice you have a gut, whether you button one button or none buttons.
Right.
Well, do the none buttons if you can't, but geez, just.
Oh God, Bill!
So
someone watch Bill. He's so pasty white. Like even coming from me,
he looks like a ghost.
He might be. Oh look. There's the signing the Declaration of
Amendment anymore? I don't know what.
That's when President Benjamin Franklin was anointed president. Signed the Declaration of Independence.
Right after he invented electricity.
Right after he invented electricity. He flipped on the switch and he said, "Let there be light." He said, my first 7 days as president, I'm gonna do some stuff.
Yeah, we light the freedom menorah every year on July.
Well, that's for the
with M80s. Oh my God, I could totally make that a Hilljack religion. An M80 chandelier.
That's the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, and Klobuchar.
Why is that one woman dressed up like Mother Superior of the Bene Gesserit?
Yeah, wait till.
She's missing the veil though, Mo.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. She's got a deep dislike for humanity. I think that's.
Oh, that's Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh God, she couldn't even do her hair in classier Sarah Boone.
She does look like Sarah Boone. Oh my God.
I know. I just expect her at some point in time to say something smart, but she won't.
No.
I just want her to say futuristically once. I need it in my life.
I just wanted to talk
the
about
90s are back. Shoulder pads and the military look for women.
There he is.
Even Trump's doing it.
Big Don.
Button that thing up. Button it up. Come on.
He's right. I don't have to.
I don't have to. I already beat these sons of bucks.
Look at that side. That's
outside.
Funny.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Yes.
Over here. So I like that tie. It's purple. right? It's not red. It's not blue.
It's both.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It's both.
Yeah, that's what purple is. It's awesome, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first lady coming back in, showing what hotness is all about.
Oh my goodness. This is, we finally have a classy lady. Don't stoop, Baron. You're tall. It's okay. You're going to be the 71st president. We're good.
No, he's worried about the atmosphere thing.
Atmosphere.
What's that thing called?
Because he's so tall.
The barometer?
No, you know the dome, the filament.
Oh.
Elon told him about that.
Okay, Boss Hog, why are you trying to bump Baron over?
Ladies and gentlemen, escorting the President of the United States and the Vice President of the United States, ranking member of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Deb Fisher, House Democratic Leader, the Honorable Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Majority Secretary, the Honorable Robert Duncan.
Oh, Hakeem is crying inside.
That's
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, the President of the United States, the Honorable Joseph R.
Welcome,
Biden
welcome.
Jr.
You're good.
and
You're
Vice
good.
President of the United States, the Honorable Kamala Davy Harris.
For about 5 more minutes. I love it. I love it.
Wait a second.
Biden's like, I'm awesome. Thank you all for noticing. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I'm
They
here to
wouldn't
take
let me
part
wear my aviators today.
Look at,
He's like, I'm
look
here
at
to
all these
part in
people here for me.
RFK.
Where am I?
So,
I think I just shit my
happy to
pants.
see me.
He's like, I was
They
told
love
last
me.
night I was going to get 2 scoops of ice cream.
so here's
glad I
my
wore the
question.
good
Why are
pants.
people asking where your stream is? Because I'm looking at your stream.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know.
Vice President-elect.
I've got YouTube stream up and running.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So what's going on with you in the YouTube world that people are being kicked off?
I don't know.
Because I mean, it's like this. It's like tired GIR YouTube on down because of policy violations. Shelly Huck, hello again. These are all Discord.
Nope.
Or not Discord. Was that?
It's shut down for about a minute, but it's back up.
Oh, okay.
That's what people are saying in the chat.
It's back.
Yeah.
Oh, it shut down for a
Ladies and
solid
gentlemen,
minute.
The Vice
Yeah.
President-elect of the United
Yeah.
States, the Honorable J.D. Vance.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. Probably because of the music.
Maybe.
That's why I'm.
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I'm
you're
screaming it
suspended
over
for
on
policy violations. Check your email. It says you're suspended for policy violations over here.
What policy violations?
I don't know. It just says it went blank. It says suspended for policy violations.
Is it
So
doing
check
its
your
bill?
email. No,
No.
but that's
No, it's on.
I've never.
now.
What's a policy violation? Is I can't remember if that's my bad.
Hey,
Or
figure
I
it
can't
out later.
remember if that's
Yeah.
Music or not. Yeah, but you want to figure it out so you don't do it again during this.
Yeah, it's they can't let them go ahead and keep doing it. Keep playing around YouTube.
Also, Miss Vance is looking uber classy today, too. We finally have first ladies that I'm not embarrassed of.
I don't think I've ever seen her. Hey, look
Really?
at
Right
that hat.
behind.
There's
She's in the
cousin
pink.
Eddie right there.
Hey, Clark, the pooper's full.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
to-
escorting the